Hmm. Very tiny. Hello. Beautiful to see you. Beautiful to meet you. Teresa.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening. Doctor, thank you as well for having us here. I'm racing through my notes as I have to do. Racing through my notes as I have to do.
Okay, so there's an echo.
I'm so sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing. I'm listening through my hearing aids. Hearing. I'm listening through my hearing aids. Hopefully we have our cameras set up here. Cool. Very good. Doctor, when you are ready to proceed, let me know if there's any format that we should be aware of. Please let me know how you are going forward on this particular debate, the style, if I might ask. I might not be. I'm not hearing you. Let's see. I am not hearing anyone. Let me.
Okay, I'm. Do you hear me, David?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mrs. Fernandez. Thank you. I appreciate you speaking out.
Doctor,
Nothing from you, doctor, at all.
you don't hear that much.
I'm glad it wasn't just me going, boy, this doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right.
Um,
Okay, now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear someone speaking. Is that you, doctor?
That's me, but you don't see my picture.
Yes. Very good. That was very clear.
Do you hear me? This is John Gray Ginsburg. Okay, good.
Very good. All right.
Well, I'm getting a delay here, and I'm not seeing my camera.
Doctor, I assume you'll take the lead, doctor, and when you're ready, I certainly am as well. Doctor, are you audible? Are we able to hear you? No? I'm just wondering now how we're going to do this. Fatima, are you able to hear me, Mrs. Fernandez? Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I have no idea if we're supposed to be on with the show or waiting. I hope we got some audience. I don't know. I wouldn't know. This is definitely a jump into the pool for me. Doctor, I can't hear you. David, let's see. Chat. Definitely a jump into the pool for me. I got a feedback.
Okay, now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear someone speaking. Is that you, Doctor?
That's me, but you don't see my picture.
Yes. Very good. That was very clear.
Do you hear
John.
me? This is John Gray Ginsburg.
Hey,
Yes. Yes, okay. I can hear the other candidates. Okay.
Candle.
Good evening, everybody, and Mr. Ginsburg, Greg Ginsburg. Good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Okay, good.
Very cool. I don't know how we're supposed to proceed here, but
Well, we
I know.
could all agree on the government shutdown or disagree. I wish it wasn't happening, this government shutdown.
It's
I
a nightmare.
assume you'll take the lead, Doctor, and when you're ready, I certainly am as well.
Yes, indeed. This shutdown is a mocking of the society. They're playing games, billionaires playing games with our lives, tariff games and the sort, making money. So it's, yeah. Government
Can you hear
shutdowns.
Can everybody hear me?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
So we are still missing Mr. Jim. He has some issue with his camera.
I'm just wondering now how we're going to do this. Fatima, are you able to hear me, Mrs. Fernandez?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Good. Cool.
Can you hear me?
We're supposed to be on with the show or waiting. I hope we got some audience. I don't know.
Can you hear me?
I wouldn't know.
I don't
I can-
know.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can hear you, Fatima.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Doctor, I can't hear you. David, listen.
All right. So Mr. Jim was here before. I could see him.
Feedback.
Yeah. Seem to have some issue with the camera. Okay, we will start. All right.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Wait,
Can you hear me?
something happened.
That's me, but you don't see my picture.
We see your picture, but we don't see you.
Oh,
I couldn't get my video camera to work. I don't know why.
Very clear.
Do you hear me? This is John Gray Ginsburg.
Certainly.
Yes.
oh, I just, my screen went dead.
No, we can see you. We can still see you.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to,
You might have opened up the other YouTube where we're just being viewed. It gets a little confusing. We have a link to log into the debate room, and there's another link to view it.
All right, let's start. Let's start. Good
Okay.
evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual debate presented by We Did It. Civic action for everyone. We are glad to have viewers joining us from all over the state, across the US, also around the world. We did a lot of work to invite many people to join us. The most important here is not only this section. The section will be recorded. The section will be dispatched around the states, also around the globe. This is an historical moment, a moment we still seize and make the case. My name is Dr. Abbas Yabamba. I am your host tonight. This debate is not about me, it's about you, it's about the people of Colorado. I'm honored to be the person who put this together. And I thank you for coming into this debate. Tonight, we will cover 3 subjects: judicial reform, economic opportunity, and AI innovation. The structure is simple. We have 4 candidates. I'm going to have 3 questions. First, each candidate will introduce himself or herself. 3 minutes each. After that, we'll move to question and answer. About the subjects we decided. Each candidate will have an opportunity to pick a topic that is not part of the agenda. After that, we will have 20-minute rebuttal, cross discussion. And closing statement will be one minute, 50 seconds. And the debate will last for 90 minutes. That is the schedule. So the question will be asked, and the question will be displayed on the screen. You will be able to read the question and answer. So after saying that, let me move directly to give the floor to Fatima Fernandez. She is the first on the list to introduce herself and make an opening statement.
Colorado is ready for something new. Not left, not right, but whole. I'm Fatima Fernandez, and my campaign is about one thing: harmony. Putting people first with constitutional clarity and moral courage. Harmony means we stop shouting across the aisle and start building across discipline. Law, policy, business, community, working together. It means remembering that government's job is to serve the people, not manage them. I'm not a career politician. I'm a bilingual paralegal, a mediator, and a mother who has seen how policy looks from the courtroom, the classroom, and the kitchen table. I've sat with families who felt invisible in systems built to protect them. And I've learned this. When you restore constitutional integrity and human dignity, people rise, businesses innovate, and community heals. Harmony isn't an agreement, it's alignment. It's where conscience meets constitution and where leadership meets listening. My vision is to make Colorado the first state in the nation where justice and the economy grow together, where small business and working families are partners and not opponents, where our laws protect freedom and our policy reflects compassion. I'm running for governor because I believe representation should be real, not bought, not brokered, but born from the people themselves. So tonight, I'm inviting you to stand with me to bring harmony to the public square, to restore trust in our institutions, to prove that Colorado still knows how to walk together in truth. This is our moment. Let's build it in harmony.
Thank you. You only spent 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Which is great. Let's move to Mr. John Gisberg.
Hi. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here tonight. This is very interesting, and I'm honored to be here and talk to everyone, including the other candidates. I want to say I'm a native of Colorado, a non-Latino native of Colorado, and my family goes way back. I went to Kent Denver Country Day High School. My father went to North High School by Federal Boulevard. And I'm running for office because I have also been working I'm in computers, and I'm in IT. And I have in my career worked for computers for the USDA, for instance, and as well as defense. And my objective of being governor is to, number one, fix the computers of Colorado. I'm sorry to jump ahead to your AI question, but I'm an AI programmer. And my objective is to fix the computers in Colorado. And I think everyone in Colorado could agree that might help everybody to have working secure computers in Colorado. And the reason I'm running for governor is because I live in Frisco, Colorado, and they canceled our elections for municipal elections for mayor and town council. And I was trying to run for that, but they canceled the elections. It's you can Google search it. I'll send a link actually during the meeting. And they canceled the elections in 2018 and 2024. That specifically, Phil Weiser canceled the elections in Frisco, Colorado. So I couldn't run in my hometown where I live, and I'm a Republican delegate for the Summit County Republicans. I voted the caucuses, for instance, recently. And as a delegate, I'm crying foul about the canceling of the Frisco, Colorado elections in 2018 and 24. And that's the main reason I'm running, is because I have ammunition complaining about Phil Weiser and Jared Polis violating the Constitution by signing off on canceling the elections to stay in power. So I've answered that by actually running for governor as well. Now, another reason I'm running for governor is because my father is an attorney in Colorado. He's had his law office on Main Street, Parker, since 1977, and he's thrown me under the bus. So I'm running for office. So I blame my father, who's an attorney, for getting me into politics. And day job, I work for attorneys doing IT work. I contract for the government. I've contracted for Raytheon as a defense contractor. I'm ITAR certified. And I believe I can bring that knowledge from computer management, logistics, security to Colorado, which is highly needed. We need someone who knows how to make spreadsheets, for instance. I make spreadsheets for a living. And in the past, I've contracted in my company, my computer company, that's based in Frisco, Colorado since 1997. We're based in Colorado, but we've been hired by Raytheon. And all the work we've done has been through agencies, so everything I say can be verified, like, for instance, with Raytheon or Halliburton. And I come from technology, and that's exactly what Colorado needs to help with the deficit, for instance. And I'm claiming that the cancellation of the Colorado elections made more deficit. I'm saying that the cancellation of the Frisco, Colorado municipal elections hurt the deficit. Anyways, my view for Colorado is set forth in my website at Greg Ginsburg for cogov.com. And in it, you'll see my 21-point plan to bring jobs. It's all about jobs, 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 and family, 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 and
Right.
putting the family back in charge.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. David.
Good evening. Doctor, thank you for this opportunity. I want to point out how there are no establishment candidates that the media has been highlighting in our, like Kirkmeyer. We don't have Michael Bennett in the House, AIPAC Bennett. We don't have Phil Weiser. You know, we have these really who are the front runners. Right now, they're spending billions to turn Colorado into a red state. I don't know if everybody's aware of that in our state. But I want people in our state to become educated, because that's what a leader truly does. They educate they don't dictate, as we have our dictator in chief today. I'll tell you what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with ICE on our streets, because I'm not going to just give you a bunch of talk and tell you a bunch of BS. I'm going to tell you the truth. Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution, it talks about Section 3. What is treason? Treason is an act, treason against the United States. This is ICE, shall consist only of levying war against them. If you understand what that means, it's exactly what that CEO, Donald, the drive-through man in chief, is doing. Okay, he's put people, ICE, on our streets. They're attacking citizens in Loveland, Colorado, busting out windows. You had a baby in the car, and you have unlicensed people who say, well, I love fascism. I love MAGA. I like the red hats too. You know what? And what they're doing is they're taking a $50,000 bonus to join ICE. If you are hateful enough, bigoted enough, and racist enough, come on out and bust some windows too. Meanwhile, what we really need to do is put those ICE officials in their little ICE facilities. I'm not kidding around here. I'm not going to talk a bunch of hyperbole. I'm going to tell the people the truth. They need to get a pin when I'm talking, because the Zionism of the industries that were just mentioned, forgive me, sir, I'm not usually confrontational, but Halliburton, Siemens, really, we're talking about wanting to partner with Disney and build resorts in Vail. How much of a billionaire class do we need right now when we're literally having in Loveland, we had a mayor in Loveland who had to open up City Hall to let the unsheltered people sleep inside. And you want to talk about your industries of Zionist Incorporated. Peter Thiel. Do you understand who Peter Thiel is? That man is New Zealand.
Hold on a second. Nothing I brought up is religious. It's all secular. And
excuse me, I didn't interrupt you. Now don't interrupt me.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This is the beginning.
Secular, and it's all
Yes,
about
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Peace, please, peace.
We'll get there.
Okay. You're already putting me. I don't agree with what's going on. I don't like this extremism. It's weird. It's dystopian. Please don't.
Yeah.
Well, let's not talk about stuff. Disney Incorporated is a Zionist industry, just like all this other AI industry that is drawing kids through character AI to want to commit suicide. Did you hear about the kid who committed suicide in our state because of character AI? And you call yourself an AI developer, you can't even get your camera to work.
Yeah, I don't know why it works in Zoom. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, well, it doesn't seem, I've had a stroke, sir. I've had a stroke. I struggle. I was an old school teacher. I struggle with any technology, but I'm pulling it off, aren't I?
Yes.
No, we don't need AIPAC in our conversation anymore. We need to get AIPAC out of Colorado. And if anyone out there agrees with me, like the poor people, we're struggling on SNAP. Did you know in our district, they just wiped out $98 fuel allowance for Jewish Family Services, my case manager, because I'm on SNAP benefits. I'm in housing. They just pulled our fuel allowance. That's what the people care about, not your Disney and Vail resort. Go ahead. Forgive me.
I agree.
Now interrupt me again, and I'll come at it.
I just haven't addressed those programs yet. Those are social programs.
Calm down.
Okay, you guys.
Let's calm down. So Jim has some difficulties joining us. He was in the room before. Basically, I think his connection is disconnected. So we're gonna have to move to the next round of the debate here. So basically, I'm going to be asking the first question, and the question will appear on your screen. You can read the question, and you can basically answer the question. I will be reading also the question for you, and you can also read for yourself. Fatima, we move with you again with the first question. The first question is on the screen here, as you can see. Question 1. Colorado's judicial system face challenge in discipline, transparency, efficiency, independence, neglect case. As the governor, what concrete step would you take to fix those issues?
That's a great question. Justice must be accessible, not theoretical. And Colorado's legal system serves the informed, not the innocent. A lot of families, immigrants, and small claims litigants face courts they can't afford or understand. We need legislative reform that funds legal education, mediation, and supervised paralegal assistance so that every person has equal access to due process. Harmony in justice means restoring comprehension and representation to the people, because due process only works when everyone can actually use it.
Amen.
So as your governor, I will restore access to justice.
We move to John. John, your take on that question.
Oh, yes. I brought it up earlier about the Attorney General Phil Weiser, who's going from AG to governor. I learned at SMU, where I went to college and got 2 degrees, that that's tyranny. I also learned that canceling elections and signing off on the canceling elections is tyranny. Our judicial system doesn't work correctly. I absolutely agree with it needs to be upgraded. The bar needs to be upgraded. The judicial system needs to be upgraded. So I've just sent a link that was created by one of my committees, sent to Mr. Roberts in Spanish, appealing for the federal government to get involved in the canceling of our elections, which influenced a lot of Latinos and non-Latinos and everyone else in Colorado. And the canceling of elections in Frisco was a breach of fiduciary responsibility, a breach of the Constitution. It's a breach of the Constitution to cancel elections. Phil Weiser, who I'm running against, canceled the elections. Anyways, I've sent a link, and I'll send another link in English. The first link is a YouTube link that was sent to the Chief Justice from the Colorado Republican Ethics Committee, asking for intervention in the canceling of our elections and a request by the Supreme Court to get involved. And the first link I sent is in English, in Spanish, because several of my committees are Latino, and I represent Latinos. Latinos are the backbone of Colorado and always have been. And it needs to be respected, and this chaos needs to end. Whether the chaos in Gaza needs to end, and the chaos in immigration needs to end, and whoever comes into power needs to be reasonable and put together things that solve these really bad problems. It's dystopian. I'm about fixing dystopian, not making it.
Very good.
Anyways.
Mr. David, your turn. Your take on this.
Thank you. I think one of the key words standing out to me is transparency. Right now in Aurora, Colorado, they're doing facial recognition. Right? We have AI technology like Peter Thiel and Palantir who are doing these ideas like pre-crime. You have billionaires right now running the show. You have Ann Walton, who owns the Broncos Stadium, wanting to move it at the expense of the infrastructure on whom. You got Peter Thiel, again, as I mentioned, Palantir, what they're trying to do pre-crime, using AI technology and all that sort of thing. And what they are, you got to understand, he's from New Zealand, okay? He and his husband, are funders of Donald Trump. He calls himself, nonetheless, a Democrat. I noticed we have about how many people running for governor in Colorado? About 30? What I want is transparency for government. I'm tired of halo cameras telling me what I can and cannot, where I'm going, and all this. We need this AI to be responsible, not ripping our jobs away, but benefiting our jobs. We need responsible development of technology that respects. Are you ready for this one?
The
Human
question,
rights.
Mr.
Is
Mr. Oak, the
I
question,
hear you.
the
And so
judicial-
in governance,
Yeah.
and if I go ahead, please, I don't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
the first question on your screen, that's what we are now, we are,
Oh,
yeah.
very, very clearly. And what the judicial system is obviously is a class system. It's based on, justice is not blind. It's about looking under that blindfold nowadays to say, okay, what was your last name? What is the color of what is this? That's not blind justice. And what they do is we need to make sure that it no longer even is valid. Okay, forgive me. I've had a stroke, as I've said. I might snap out a second. But what we're looking at is more important are family courts. Start at the base. Do you know how corrupt and how dismantling and how horrible these family courts have been to the families? The families are not supported. Our government, our governance, and all left and right, AIPAC party as it is, if that's at the state, federal, and local level, AIPAC, money, whoever, I will not take any corporate funds unless they're on the right side of AIPAC, unless they're anti, you see, now, I will immediately repeal anti-BDS legislation. In other words, if you work for, say, WellPower, who just lost a $5 million grant, your Well Behavior Health Association, what they did, forgive me one quick moment and I'll wrap it up with this, is they stripped a $5 million grant from your behavior health and resource centers. You understand what that does, but you got a governor who wants to build bridges across the street of Broadway that cost $95 million. You know your resource centers are falling apart. Your food banks are shutting down. Your shelters are closing. And meanwhile, they want to keep spending like elitist pedophiles that they are. Do you understand that some of these people are on the Epstein list, including Peter Thiel? Peter Thiel on the Epstein calendar. When's he coming to visit? Okay, that's the kind of big money AIPAC Zionists are. And it's time people take those glasses off like a John Carpenter movie and start to realize, holy shit, they do live. Excuse my language.
Let's be a little bit respectful here.
David for governor of Colorado. I promise I got this.
We move to question 2. Round first is finished. We move to question 2. Fatima, we will go with you again with question 2. Between March 2022 to March 2023, Colorado saw 29,938 new business openings and 26,843 closures, resulting in a net increase of 3,000 establishments. However, national data indicate the state had to make more. What would be your take on that as a governor?
Job creation and entrepreneurship. Those are my favorite topics. I'm an entrepreneur, and empowering people. We need to empower people and not push productivity. Often the problems we see in Colorado is the working poor reality. Too many Coloradans are working full-time and still can't afford rent, childcare, or healthcare. The job market rewards credentials, not contribution, and small businesses face red tape that corporations don't. Wages have been flatlined, while costs have exploded, leaving families trapped between debt. So the core issue is real economic growth begins at home. We cannot lower small business taxes. We can lower small business taxes, streamline licensing, and open pathways to innovation, especially for women, minorities, and tradespeople. Colorado's economy should reward effort, not compliance and paperwork. And with harmony in the economy, every Coloradan can build, create, and keep what they earn with dignity and fairness. The barriers, actually, that's what I had to say. We need to restore dignity in work.
Very good. Let's move to Mr. John. Your take on the question 2.
We needed to restore dignity in work and dignity in being here and living a life like normal. And all this chaos with immigration, it needs to stop, and there needs to be a new administration, a new procedure to take care of it. Now, as far as Colorado businesses are concerned, I have a small business. My small computer business that fixes computers has been in Summit County since 1997. I'm not a billionaire elite. I'm not. I'm just not. I have a family, and I have a business, and I contract. So I don't even know Mr. Thiel. None of these people have given any money to my campaign. Anyways, so I support small businesses in my day-to-day job. That's what I do. And
what will you do to fix it? To fix the issue?
Oh, absolutely! It's such a hostile environment now with the broken court system. I brought it up before. The court system is completely broken. It is biased. It is discriminatory. It doesn't work. And it's headed by Phil Weiser, who's running for governor, and he's brought the state into a $1.2 billion debt. So when you talk about treason, there would be an argument that he's been in charge. We've gone into debt. He hasn't followed the Tabor laws. Let me apply some of the laws to the treason. Now, of course, nothing will happen to him because attorneys are immune, as is the system. That's why it hasn't been upgraded. It's not compliant. It doesn't follow the Constitution. And once again, the canceling of the elections in Frisco, Colorado is a reason why certain people should lose their licenses who practice in the bar. Anyone who is involved in canceling elections in America under non-compliant reasons should lose their license. But as far as Colorado businesses are concerned,
I object, but I'll rebuttal later.
well, the system is broken, as you said, and it's not serving the people. It's not serving the people. And that's one of the reasons we've had so many business closing. Partly is because the legal system is broken and it taints the system. The Colorado restaurants going out of business breaks my heart. They're clients of mine. They're where I go, where I take my family, where I eat. They're very important. And the fact that this regime has let things get to this extreme dystopian dysfunction needs to be fixed. And when I come in as governor, I'm going to want to continue to talk to everyone on this panel, and I will leave that open because I'm interested in your ideas. And I'm only agreeing that the system is broken and not serving people, not just Latinos, but everyone. It's broken, and the people that make the most money are attorneys. In our society, the people that make the most money are attorneys, and there's no cap. And the bar needs to be upgraded. The bar needs to be upgraded, and I think money should be put into upgrading the bar.
Perfect. We move to question 3. After that, we will move to the rebuttal, and we'll have a discussion.
Doctor, there you go. No worries. That's all right. Don't worry. I'll try to keep my temperament a little more mellow. I'm usually asleep by this hour. I'll be honest. Listen,
your turn.
These are the things I do. It's like I say, I've had a stroke. If you know the meaning of Samud, S-U-M-U-D, the flotilla Samud, that was trying to get into Gaza in the international waters and was pirated. I wonder if you're aware of what happened to Greta Thunberg and how she was beaten and made to kiss a flag and these war crimes. And as America, the reason I mention that is because in Colorado we're giving over $300 and something thousand annually to that occupation state. Nonetheless, I wanted to answer your question, and this is the point. The Samud means resilience. I was a school teacher. I was a small business owner that drank too much and drank it away and had to learn the hardships of why it is to teach oneself the purpose of being a good person. I've lived in the shadow, as Carl Jung would call it, the shadow work. I know what it is to struggle. After the last 5 years, my stroke, in 2019, May 15th, the very day of the Nakba, I want to say, what happened to me, though, was a stroke, and my daughter, she was only 11 months old. She's only 6 today. So when it comes to what it is to be resilient and have a small business little record store I had called LP Helms Vinyl House. It was a pretty cool little thing. But then to have to face the battle for SSI and be told, no, and that's typical. You're going to have to get denied three times. And here's what it is. You want to talk about the people, we don't have work, we need our small business, then we need to get the money away from the corporate industries like Stan Kroenke. Okay, Stan Kroenke, the owner of Ballerina, wants to build using AI tech and stuff, one of those smart, small little cities, a city within a city. What does that do to downtown Denver and the revitalization and all that project where the city employees and the state employees are still working from home? Number one, stop working from home. That might revitalize some of the little small businesses. Let's refill the businesses before they all go bankrupt. And the towers are all going bankrupt, by the way. Pretty soon they're about to go foreclosure unless we get ahead of the bricks. Do we talk about bricks or just forget that it's coming like a tidal wave about to land on everybody's head? We need to make sure Ann Walton, Walmart heiress, we need to make sure before she says, I'm going to go ahead and move Bronco Stadium, that we realize that that district that is around Bronco Stadium is one of the most prosperous in the country. And if you do that, it's going to uproot them. And then if you think we're, the taxpayers, not going to have to pay for all that infrastructure around a brand new little billionaire-loving stadium as the jet flyers jet set into Vail for Disney trips and their Vail resorts, I'm sorry, sir, but that's just disgusting to me. I don't do the Zionist enterprise, corporate enterprise. I want small businesses instead of dependence on corporate on industries that are what we call smart cities. That what they do is they're pro ID. Okay, people need to wake up. They're pro this digital ID. Look it up, digital ID. These are your billionaires. These are the ones who go to this Donald Trump at Windsor Castle. Get ready. Sam Altman, Steven Schwartzman, the Blackstone CEOs, the OpenAI CEOs, ARM CEOs, Barclays, Microsoft CEO, Salesforce CEO, Apple CEO, NVIDIA. Okay, you have Larry, you got Bill Ackman. Now we have this Larry, forgive me, my brain, but
hold on. It sounds like you're criticizing.
Okay.
I fix those computers for a living.
I'm criticizing the rich and saying we got to get the money away from the rich and give it to the poor, the farmers.
These social programs.
We'll
They're all messed up.
Mr. John, we'll get that. Mr. David.
Thank you for my time.
Yeah. So we get to the cross discussion. Okay. Right, Mr. David, continue. You have 30 seconds left.
Oh, wow, far out. Larry Adelson, I'm trying to recall the names. Okay, forgive me. My brain is a little, I think I stated what I could. And in regards to, forgive me, the businesses, look, small business, we've got to start at the ground, okay? Right now we've increased over 1,000 people of incarcerations in the last 35 years. The statistics, we're in the most incarcerated country on the planet. We have people who need smaller, shorter sentences. We don't need greater, harder, stricter sentences. Go ahead, forgive me. I'll go off on any tangent I can get around.
Thank you. We move to the question 3. I will start this time with Mr. John. Mr. John, I'm gonna start with you for the question 3. Question 3, Colorado has great potential to become a hub for artificial intelligence innovation. As a governor, what concrete step will you take to make Colorado the Silicon Valley of AI?
That's an excellent question. I'm an AI developer, but I fix computers, okay, and I program. But we have molybdenum. And recently with the Chinese, and I wish we weren't fighting with the Chinese. I wish we weren't fighting with anyone. Please let me make that clear. I agree with you. It's crazy what's going on. Please don't blame me. I'm trying to fix it. If I were to come into power, when I come into office, I want peace talks here. Anyways, molybdenum.
Would you deny APAC spending?
Molybdenum, which we are a leader in the world of producing in Colorado
money.
already. It's already being mined at the Climax mine. They've started making computer chips out of it. So if we just use this technology that several Chinese universities have now patented, we could make CPU and AI chips in Colorado with our existing rare earths. And I'm hoping that Spain, for instance, I'd really like to get Spain involved. I'm a real big fan of Spain. They helped start Colorado, or at least this civilization after the Indians. But I wish Spain was involved as an EU country, and that we could work with them as an EU country, for instance, to make computer chips. I think that'd be really novel, because everyone wants to make AI chips. And if you Google search molybdenum for computer chips, you'll see. I'll send a link. And so I have very distinct plans for making AI chips, for making it's a world business, so you can't just be the only one. But Colorado, because of our rare earths, our minerals, we have everything. We can be definitely part of this new revolution in computers. And being a computer developer, I'm using AI in my campaign. For instance, on my website, you'll see the talking dog. And as far as Disney goes, I think the company's collapsed in many respects. It's not what it was when I worked there in the 90s on Beauty and the Beast, for instance. And I think that Colorado needs Disney, and Disney needs Colorado to create jobs and put Disney back in line in terms of being more family orientated. And for the current Disney, yeah, there's problems, but we have problems too. So I'm looking for what they used to call a Disney synergy. When you criticize them, I'm also critical of them, for sure. But we need their help, because we rely on tourism. Please don't make fun of tourism. My business supports tourism. I live in Summit County. It's all tourists. And my business supports the tourists up here. And I'm all for small business and tourists. And I have to say that Mount Blue Sky is not as good a t-shirt as Mount Colorado would have been if they would have named it Mount Colorado. Anyways, I work with AI. I do animation with AI. And I think anything can be twisted. You can drive a car and run over people. You can drink until you pass out and die. If things are abused or become extreme, they break. And right now, our current regimes, I call them a current regime in Colorado. They did cancel elections in my hometown of Frisco, and I won't stop about it. It's partly why I'm running. But the current regime is not compliant, and I'm afraid of what they're going to do. I already see what they're using computers for to manipulate their argument to manipulate their argument. And keep in mind, I want to say this, the Burbank Airport closed down today without controllers. And I believe that what's happening with Snap is across the board. Everyone's getting hurt right now, everyone. And this shutdown has to end. And I disagree with when I come into power, I don't want to fight with Democrats. I want to work with them to solve these problems. It's time for a change.
Yeah.
And AI, back to your question, AI is part of that. To make it work, not make it worse.
Fatima, your take on the question? Colorado
Thank you.
To become a hub for intelligence innovation. As a governor, what concrete step will you take to make Colorado the Silicon Valley of AI? AI also, as I know, AI also is a very big tool used by legal experts today. What will you do with that technology?
AI is a great tool, and it should serve humanity, not replace it. So as governor, artificial intelligence is a tool, not a threat. Used wisely, it can expand access to justice, improve education, and safeguard free speech. Used blindly, it can deepen inequality. We must demand transparency, ethical guardrails, and digital literacy for all. Harmony in innovation means technology enhances truth, empowering people instead of erasing them. Thank you.
That's your take.
Yes.
David, Mr. Hug, what's your take on the question?
Thank you. I've been trying to find my notes the whole time. Here it is. I just have to wing this. It comes down to two simple things to me. Number one is human rights contracts. If we're gonna do AI, we need to make sure it's helping our families, supporting our people, not on the loose. Right now, there aren't the boundaries versus censorship in what we can do. And the primary question being, what can Colorado do to develop its own kind of, and I agree with this, its own Silicon Valley idea. Here's what we do. Ethical contracts, ethical development. we can create using DeepSeek as an example. Our students, instead of making things that are being used for a genocide right now in Gaza, instead of making weapons of mass horror and death, starvation being used, being applied as a weapon of mass destruction. Okay, war crimes. Instead of our students having to do war crimes to graduate in their engineering careers, how about they're doing things like forestry, but better, but much better. Things that are, as I say, when we have DeepSeek, forgive me for getting off track, the example is this of that AI search engine, how they did it with so little power. Are you aware that they're opening up nuclear plants right now? They want to do quantum AI. That's scary stuff, folks. That's taking digital into the physical. It's getting really bizarre. We need to make sure it's unchecked. But I'm saying this, that when what they're doing is the amount of power usage, okay, not only in our, we need to make sure these industries and platforms and all the electronics are paying for their electronic usage of our wire space that they've, just like we do. But nonetheless, what I'm saying is this: we can bring Silicon Valley here to help us develop things that are in line of lower power and energy. The DeepSeek was able to do it on a very small computer data power grid, power source. Forgive me, I'm not very technologically inclined. Myself, I'm an old school teacher, okay? I'm an old record store owner. I was a roofing project manager. So these are my pasts and the sort, and just a community fighter for my life, for the unhoused community. I've been down fighting with them on the ground level for longer than my stroke, okay, much longer. It took my stroke for me to be blessed with that, becoming among those who are right now saying we're being forgotten, the ones who aren't being heard, the voice for the voiceless, the families that can't put food on my table tonight. I'm not kidding. When I sit there and laugh to myself, I'm eating a can of stuff I got from the food bank, okay, over at Jewish Family Services, because they're trying their best, and all the other food banks are trying their best. My case manager at Jewish Family Services, God bless her, she was the first person I told I'm going to run for governor and change this. I don't have a choice, damn it. I don't have a choice. My back is further against the wall. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make sure that those corporations are paying their billionaire fair share. And we have that one thing Bernie Sanders likes to say is progressive taxes. Well, let's make it a reality. If you're using our airspace to fly in and out on those destructive, very pollutant jets, you're going to pay for that airspace. You're going to use your corporation to run on our wires, and this Zoom, any industry, you're going to pay for that, not just the users. And you're not going to keep passing down the cost on the small businesses with regulations and stipulations and this mandate here. They're saying, okay, and you got the Democrat Party, which I'm running on the Democrat platform. Jimmy Carter's son stayed at my grandmother's house. I was raised in this philosophy. I know what social programs are. I know that I pay taxes always thinking for those who are needy and disabled, and only to find myself with a dadgum stroke and a brain trauma, and by grace alone, by God's grace alone, able to say, thank you, Father, you've shown me the reasons for the struggle, the hard things we go through together. And those are the bridges, harmony, beautiful bridges to the communities that are not being heard. In our communities, they're being told, fight each other, fight each other. Bullshit, excuse my language. Fight the rich.
All right. Thank you. We go back to we lost Fatima. So, John, you have a subject you want to cover?
Yeah, well, I've been covering it. You've asked in the questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I brought up about what's going on with the judicial system. I don't believe Fatima agrees, or she agrees that certain people I think all people are being affected, and it's hurt our businesses. I addressed that. My objective is to bring in jobs for everyone. And also, I believe that I need to add some more things about social programs, like maybe building some type of, in Chicago, they build block housing. In some of the bigger cities in our country, they've built block housing before. Maybe we should consider that and making it available. In fact, a lot of countries do that, and it's something that we should do here. The $1.2 billion in deficit, where did it go? Where did the cannabis money go? We need it for building chips. We need it for building social housing and social programs. We're supposed to have a safety net. What's happened to it? And I'm very sad to hear Mr. Hughes and his complaints. I don't totally disagree, but I think this extremism is bad. I mean, the government shut down now. Fatima works for the government. I mean, she does. She works in the legal system, I guess, as a paralegal that's working in the government. The government shut down now, so everyone's programs are shut down. So the poorest people are being hurt, and the richest people, well, the airport, it's not safe to fly in Burbank. They closed Burbank Airport for lack of, speaking of where Disney is located, for lack of air traffic controllers. That's dystopian. That's something out of a movie. If I was in the 70s or 80s when I grew up in Colorado, I'd say, hey, is that a movie or something? What? I can't believe that's ever going to happen. How did these people let it happen? And I appreciate Mr. Hughes's frustration, and I'm sad, and I empathize with him. And I empathize with what's happening in downtown Denver. You see, my grandparents, they lived in Lowell Boulevard by the stadium. That's where I grew up. And my grandfather had a small business by the stadium. My father went to North High School. I grew up at the stadium when it was Mile High Stadium. And now they're moving it again after, I don't know, some kind of debacle. And they should call it Barry Fay Stadium, actually, because if you were familiar with Colorado and promotion, he was a celebrity here. Anyways, it's another story. So the management is really, it's mismanaged, and it's evident by the violation of Tabor laws and the debt of $1.2 billion that can't totally be accounted for while social programs collapse. And I think we should have strong social programs. I don't understand. It affects everyone. And I have definite plans for bringing programs in, but I'm copying and pasting ideas from around the world and trying to keep it just secular.
Yeah, you went over a little bit, so we're gonna transition to the choice of your, basically every candidate will have an opportunity to talk about a subject that was not listed here in the debate. And I will start with that round with Fatima. Fatima would like to talk about subject we did not list here: family law, immigration, and other subjects. Fatima, you have the floor. She has some technical problem. Can you hear us, Fatima? Fatima, can you hear us?
We can't hear you, Fatima. Oh no.
Your microphone is Fatima, we cannot hear you. John, you can take over, and once you come back, we can move with them. So, John, can you tell me a subject we did not cover, and these 3 questions you want to cover?
Well, I mean, I want to talk about Hilltop.
Okay.
And just a couple blocks down, the mosque. And I would pray that all of those institutions, if you know Denver, we have Hilltop with the Greek Orthodox, the JCC, and the Lutheran Church, and then down the road is the big mosque. I grew up in the neighborhood where the mosque is, Huntington Estates. When I was a child, they built the mosque in that neighborhood. And then a long story, but so I think that it would be really important to work with religious leaders in Colorado, especially with immigration. And there needs to be a new program, a new administration, a new process for working with immigrants. So I think we should work really closely with Mexico. I think absolutely we should be working closely with Mexico. The Latin population of Colorado is the backbone of our labor. They're half of Colorado. I think we need to respect people of Colorado and enlighten those people and give them a voice and have a proper procedure for immigration. And our relationship with Mexico has been forever. Colorado and Mexico have had a relationship with the peoples forever. And we need to come up with a better plan, because the truth is many people who come to Colorado also go back to Mexico and send back money. And there's a tie, roots. We need to work with those. And I'm very sad for what ICE is doing now. And as things continue to progress, there still needs to be a process for immigration that does work. Unfortunately, the last administrations, the process broke down, and now we have this chaos. I hope and I pray that we'll work it out, because my heart bleeds for what I see, and I'm crying for what I see. And I think that we need to work closely with the hemisphere and the peoples and the governments. This is a really good opportunity to work closer with our hemisphere and make our hemisphere stronger, not weaker. I mean, come on, let's look at reality. I really mean that. And as far as what ICE is doing, I don't totally agree, and I don't totally disagree. I disagree with the chaos, and I pray that we can come up with a better system, because we need it. This country is based on everybody.
What is the system you are you proposing, John?
Well, first off, maybe we should come up with a way that approves people that come in and then enforces it. Meaning, let's just say, I'm talking the hypothetical, but let's just say that we have our own immigration policy that knows who comes in and agrees and disagrees. It could be Latino, and they say, we'll have these people come in and we won't have these people come in, and we'll watch them. And only the church does that. So we need to work closer with the church. Absolutely. That's the thing I don't understand about these administrations. I didn't say that we should necessarily do anything but at least work with the church and figure out how to create quotas. Because as a sovereign country, you need to have a quota. You need to know who's in your country. Every country, whether it's Mexico or China or India, they want to know who's in their country. That's part of being a country and sovereign. And
Right.
so, but it's all computers. The computers are broken and everything else falls apart. That's one argument.
We are already spent past the 1 hour debate time, which was very. As it seems like we've been here for 1 hour already. There's been 1 hour already. So, Fatima, you was trying to cover 3 topics we did not list in the debate. So, can you have the floor to cover those topics and share your thought about it before the voter, to the voter?
I think I got cut off with okay, so can you repeat the question one more time?
The question, basically, you already answered the question 3. We were at the level, basically, you say you're going to be covering some subject we did not list in the debate. And you say you'll be talking about family law. You'll be talking about family law, I think, immigration and family law, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and education. So
And education as well.
So I
School
have
system,
three issues.
school system in Colorado.
So I have 3 pet peeves: immigration, education, and the economy, and they all tie with everything. So I wanted to answer the question on immigration first, because there is a problem, and we do have a problem with immigration. But in immigration, we can do security and we could do dignity, and they could coexist together. And we can't just claim justice while families wait for years in hearings, or while people of faith and hard work live in fear. Immigration reform must restore due process, access to lawyers, translation, and transportation for every person summoned to court. And if as a governor, harmony in immigration means a lawful system that sees people, not paperwork, and balances compassion with constitutional order. And it all ties with education. We have a big problem in this country and in Colorado in particular with education. Most students are graduating below literate proficiency. That's a big problem. And I believe that when we need to pay teachers first, like my movement rights, in order to fix the problem. So what I'm saying is, in my movement, we don't just start with bureaucracy, we start with people. Movement rights pays drivers first because they're the ones delivering the service. Education should be the same way. Pay teachers first because they're the ones delivering the future. And so when we start by paying people first and by putting people first, we actually elevate people and we correct the system. And the other problem I see is we just have a big problem with access to justice. We have a lot of pro se litigants, and for every lawyer, we have 500 litigants. That means that a third of litigants are being served by the system. And the problem isn't the legal system. The legal system is fine. It interprets the law, but it's slow. The problem is that our legislators aren't making laws that are adequate and actually provide justice. So when we equalize and we balance the judicial system,
as the governor, how are you gonna work with the lawmaker to make sure the law they are taking match with the need of society? How are you gonna do that? Because those are backbone. Yeah.
Yep. So first we gotta influence the legislature. And as governor, they already know me at the legislature. And I have a great power in influencing all the legislators and making sure that they are in harmony with each other and are collaborating and creating dialogue. And so as your governor, I understand the laws and I know which laws need to be enforced and which laws can be fixed and which laws can actually be not enforced. And so as your governor, I will make sure that each and every person is protected, not just the corporations. And I will ensure that I will influence and propose laws that actually balance with the Constitution, that balance with the natural people, that actually equalize and harmonize, so that people are actually being served, so that people aren't being overlooked, so that people aren't arbitrarily going to jail. And so I will make sure that each and every person have equal rights and due process.
David, do you have any take on that?
I'm so sorry. Would you please
Do you
repeat
have
that?
any take on what she just said? Do you have something to add, or do you have something to rebuttal?
Oh, I have my own take on things, not anything to add to what Mrs. Fernandez has just said. No, that sounded wonderful. I really appreciate the platform you're running, Mrs. Fernandez. It's well thought out. So I appreciate hearing it, actually. It's filled with good ideas. But I'm sorry, if you're asking me, my hearing aids may not be picking it up. Are you asking me for my...
family law? Do you have something to say about it? Do you have something to say about immigration, education, and family law?
Of course I do. Family law in particular is one of the very
you got 1
basics.
minute.
Oh, on top of that?
Yeah.
Well, gosh, I think right now, having been an old school teacher, I know that the biggest thing that it is right now is we need to make the foundations in our school. Our schools our teachers are not supported. Our students are not supported. Is there somebody to meet that child that comes to school so angry that they feel they can't take it anymore to say, hey, how are you doing today? We got enough counselors in the school, or is Elon Musk keeping too much of his money? Is Ann Walton got too much money for the Broncos? All this stuff. Okay, the billionaires need to start paying. We need the kids to have counselors, teachers, and we need to stop shutting down the schools, because overcrowded classrooms is less learning, and they're saying, blaming it on air conditioning. How about we start providing air conditioning instead of trying to build $95 million bridges? Jared Polis, APAC Polis, APAC Bennett. You see, these folks are talking, they love to spend money because they're rich. People like me, we have to learn how to make potatoes stretch. All right, we need to say first take care of the education. That's the foundation of our society. When our students feel supported, we can grow. When our community feels supported, no matter where they're from, the color and pale or pasty, male, female, or whatever it is they've chosen as an independent lifestyle, it doesn't matter to me. What matters is that they feel supported. Okay, not desperate enough to say, I've got no choice but to break the law. Peace.
Mr. John, your take on the immigration, education, family law, do you have any take on it? John?
Mike, yes.
Well,
All right.
yeah,
First, my
Germany-
grandmother was a social worker in Denver. That's how she retired, and she helped me get my place that I have in Frisco. And my family immigrated to Colorado in the late 1800s, or 1890, and they're buried at Rose Hill Cemetery, which is one of Denver's oldest cemeteries. I believe in immigration. I work in computers. It's totally international. I don't have the luxury to be a bigot or anything like that. I work internationally. Okay, so when I hear on CNN who I should like or dislike as far as immigration goes, I have my own views. I think that in order to be a stronger America, we need to be a stronger Colorado and fix these problems. The people in office have really broken things. They've left us with this social problems, and they pay for the wolves, but they don't pay for the homeless. That could be a T-shirt, right? They pay for the wolves, but they won't pay for the homeless. That costs money for that wolf program, a lot. Also, I would, my father and my family are attorneys, and I'm very critical, actually. And I believe that the $1.2 billion deficit, if you were to do an audit, a real audit, you would find at least 30% of it is padded legal bills. So I'm claiming that 30%, I've been reading about this, that 30% of the $1.2 billion deficit is legal bills. And that's to lawyers. And we need to upgrade that and fix it so it's better. So we get more for our money from that and more. Anyways, so yeah, because I think there needs to be a lot to our judicial system. We need to upgrade a lot for transparency. We need to give due process to the people. What happens is when a small business doesn't have due process, other entities take care of that, take advantage of that business, and then the business can't survive. Due process is a way to protect small businesses. And I would say that Phil Weiser has been remiss in his fiduciary responsibility as Attorney General by letting down the small businesses of Colorado. The news somehow, I've never seen this before, but the news likes to post who's going bankrupt. Such and such business has been in business 40 years, they're going bankrupt. So what happens? The news makes money from advertising that businesses are going out of business? No. Maybe, I mean, that's wrong. Also, I want to bring in foreign investment. I talked about Spain. I really wish Spain was here. I'd love to have Spain here and the Mexican government at the same time in like a peace conference. And then we could really talk about immigration. It would be fascinating to me. And yeah, we have to work together. I'm like, Colorado we are both an immigrant place, and we are a place where people have been here a long time, and we need to work with it. And I do think we've had a problem though with crime in our country, and part of it has been because of people coming into our country to do harm to our country and our people. That is true. I don't think all the people are that though. I think there are a lot of people who come in this country with their families for the best reasons. And we just have to stop this chaos. But it's all now related now to the government shutdown. So I mean, everyone is being influenced.
All right, we have a 15 minutes left for this section, and we will be closing that section. Basically, we are moving now to rebuttals. I think Fatima has some rebuttal at the beginning of the debate about something that was said by John about lawyer making money, right? What is your rebuttal? Why you did not agree with John on that subject?
Yes, I wanted to just say that we do need lawyers, and
yes.
I want to say that in fairness, lawyers aren't really taught how to do business. They're taught how to think. And we need to reform our legal education and how we train lawyers and paralegals, and they need to work together. But justice delayed is justice denied, and we need to make justice. But justice dehumanized is justice destroyed. And so the problem we have is courts are overloaded, attorneys are unaffordable, families and immigrants face the system alone, and public trust at all time is low. And so my mobile legal clinics and movement rides is for access to justice, pro se empowerment, mediation and restorative practice, fair pay for clerks, interpreters, and mediators. So we need to bring the legal service to the people, and we need to restore trust in the legal system.
John, do you agree with that?
Oh, yes. But I'm one where it's going to take a little bit of maybe force to do it. And I mean positive force. Like, here are computers that work. I think that there needs to be more transparency in the legal process. And because I come from a family of attorneys, my uncle is an attorney in Cook County, or a retired attorney from Cook County, Chicago, which is in the news now. I'm exposed to multiple aspects of what's going on. My cousin on the Gray side of the family, she's a teacher in Aurora. And they have 2 daughters who are my cousins. And I get an earful from them about what's going on. And it really comes down to calming things down, having people work together, coming up with a policy for immigration. Now that they've closed the border off, the border is an artery for our country. It's an artery. You can't just close it off and keep it closed. It just needs to be administered. It's almost like you have a heart attack one way, and the other way you have anemia. There needs to be a balance. I'm looking at, like, for lack of a better term, like Zen, like a synergy. And we need to adopt that. And we need to come up with a policy with the people here, like Chicanos. That was a term we used for Colorado Latinos. We need to come up with a policy that knows who's coming in, that agrees who's coming in, and has quotas. And there is one last thing I want to bring up. We have no European immigration. So really, the numbers are skewed. It's bias. It's now discriminatory with no due process. I'm talking about it from multiple ways at the same time. And the fact that they've taken away due process is another example how it's broken. And I think that we have to fix it. Whoever comes into power has to fix it. Colorado cannot be under the stress, especially with the government shutdown. The governor should have flown out to Washington and been on his hands and knees so it doesn't happen. People are getting hurt. I mean, this is crazy. It's bad, and everyone's responsible. The Republicans should agree that the money from tariffs should go to healthcare. Where else should the money go other than healthcare from the tariffs? And the problem is, the argument is about the social net and who's getting the money. Well, you know what? Some of it is going to go to immigrants, but the majority of it still should go to the American people, and the money from tariffs should go to healthcare. So it doesn't make logical sense to not agree to certain Democrat terms for socialized healthcare or Obamacare.
David, your take on this?
Thank you. I think this is one of the very more important questions of the day, immigration, and what we're witnessing today. See, we got people who do not feel like they're being heard. We got, when I say bridges, a big part of that is listening to each other. I was a school teacher down in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the South Valley there at an old charter school named Horizon. And I did my student teaching down in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and I got to see a lot of the inequalities of poverty, one district, and wealth in another, and the lack of resources and versus the abundance that is so prevalent in our society today. I know the difference between a student who comes and looks at you and says, "You're the professor, you're still invited, come over, you're supposed to come over, Mr. Hughes, for empanadas tonight." I know what that was, because I know what an asylum seeking is. I know what this is versus this situation. And it's true. This has been laid upon us. This was an intentional little slow progressive thing because they knew that they've been building to this big progressive plan. People can think I'm wrong, but I'll teach people. The more people are going to want to pay attention to me, you'll see that. But people need to realize, is it going to take ICE goose stepping into their living room, stepping on grandma's neck before they realize that the IOF and ICE are one and the same? Okay, this fascist ideology is funded by your AI technogarchs. The ones, it isn't no longer any left and right. This is AIPAC money, silence you, compromise you, Epstein list. Well, who was Epstein? He was a compromised intelligent agent for who? For Mossad. Okay, what was Harvey Weinstein? All right, I'm sick of the use of Mossad in our country. Isn't the job of the federal government to protect us from adversaries outside of our country? Their sole purpose? We have a dictator in chief.
Well,
I don't
think
John, you can intervene if you have a controversy.
Yeah, I think he was a pimp, but I don't think he was with Mossad. I think he was targeting famous people.
Oh, he's admitted it already. Weinstein's admitted use of Mossad, sir. Okay, you can look it up for yourself. This isn't stuff I make up. This is stuff you haven't researched because you're blind. Because you like AIPAC money, and it's already very clear. Look at the people's teams. Those are war industries. Don't interrupt me. Now, Doctor, you are in charge of I'll pass the floor to you, sir.
As the governor, what you will do to correct those?
Very nice question. A governor's job is to lead, not dictate, to educate. To say, look how much money your city council's making right now in the city of Denver and in Aurora, and they're trying to just increase those salaries so much so in a month. For Pete's sake, give that money back. There should be a cap. You know how much money our people in our legislation are making and how they're being bribed and positioned to stay silent, and they don't interest for the interest of the people? My goodness, their interest is in Monsanto. All right, let's put glyphosate into the soil, kill all the microbials. So you eat an apple, it's like eating a piece of paper. About as much nutrients is a piece of wind. Okay, we need to return the power to the flesh and bone is more important than your coin and paper. I want to see the kids, the migrant. Do you understand migrant? It's the law. Leviticus, read the law if you're a scripture reading person. Leviticus, forgive me, it's the law that you are to love the migrant, not as yourself, as your neighbor. What do you think the Messiah spoke of when he said the Good Samaritan? It's a story about who's our neighbor. They said, I'll tell you who your neighbor is. It's the one, not the one who passed you by, but the one who stopped to help you. That's your neighbor. And by the law of the Father, you want to talk about laws of man are frivolous. And we find that every generation. Marijuana laws, gender laws, women's suffrage. Take a look at how we've had to evolve through the civil rights period. We've been set back 50 years by this tyrant in chief. He hates his enemies, doesn't he? He hates his enemies, he says. Do you understand the chaos in our streets? People aren't wanting to just be, I'm sad for what's happening with ICE, I just heard. Right. I'm sad, I'm crying. Let me say it this way. Let me finish if I may. When is it going to take white kids being zip-tied in our streets before people give a damn about ICE? Okay? This is mad chaos. I don't want, let's just think that it's going to get, we need some angry people. We need some people in charge who are going to say, not anymore. You corporations, you can take a hike. It's not, corporations are not people. They are not entitled to rights. They're money.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fatima, do you have any take on what David just said and John said?
Yeah, I just want to say that we do need leadership. We do need to put people first, and we do need to have constitutional clarity and harmony everywhere. And I believe that when we start in our education system, we need to pay teachers first, because if we can't teach kids to read, we're not going to have kids actually finding jobs, working, and being productive and people who can actually do something in the future. So the problem is bureaucracy drains classrooms, teachers are underpaid, overworked, students leaving schools disconnected from purpose. And the solution is pay teachers first, restructure budgets around classroom impact, civic and constitutional literacy in every grade, faith-informed character education, community partnerships between schools, trades, and parents. In my movement, we pay the people who serve first. If we can pay our drivers first, then we can pay our teachers first. And also in technology without humanity is tyranny. And harmony means innovation that serves people, not replaces them. So
Right.
we have a big problem with AI and privacy, and we need to have a Colorado Digital Bill of Rights, an AI-powered justice tool. We need broadband access statewide. We need ethical certification for tech impacting human lives. We need to protect our privacy. So as a governor, I understand the laws and I understand the Constitution, and I listen to the people, and I can cut across the cultures
Right.
and blend.
Right. Thank you. John, do you have something to say about AI? Because you want.
Yeah, well, AI really just means computers. It's really just another catchphrase. I'm sorry to say, it really just is computers on steroids, but still computers. And what's happened is, I mean, the truth is, what's going on is kind of propaganda telling you to fear AI when other political interests are actually behind it. So I look at it more like a Hollywood movie and look at the worst part and the best part. They're computers, though. The world is not getting rid of computers, and the race to more advanced computers and AI systems is part of it. But the media is really hyping something that people don't understand, and they're just using it as a catchphrase to just blame everything. And plane crashes, it was AI. No, it was
As the governor, how are you going to make sure people trust technology advancement?
Well, that's what I do for my day job. My computer company does cybersecurity. We fix computers that have viruses. We don't make viruses. We fix computers that have viruses. That's what I did for all those big companies. I fixed their computers. I'm sorry. We need to have, I like Coca-Cola. I like McDonald's. I like Disney when it's working right. They're American. I mean, when they're working right, it's really good. So I'm not necessarily, but Monsanto can make problems too. Everybody and every company can make a problem. It's all about balance. Anyway, so, yeah. As far as AI goes, I work with Code AI.
Yeah.
No, I'm an expert with it. And one of the things is Polis came in office and he said, I'm sorry, Governor Polis came into office, my nemesis. And he went saying he was in computers and some tech, and he knew about computers.
You have a 30 second left.
I'm an expert with computers. I'm the Microsoft business partner. I got invited to Google's AI conference in Las Vegas and went called Next 2025 in April. I do this for a day job. I believe in responsibility. I believe the internet is out of control. I believe that the government or some entity should start protecting children on the internet. I mean, come on. I think there just needs to be less extremism and more family input, more normal, more God-fearing. Whatever religion, God-fearing. And,
right.
Yeah.
Thank you. We are basically closing the debate here. We, of course, cover subjects we supposed to cover tonight. We cover through mail question. We also cover some questions that was picked by the candidate. So I'm going to give the floor to each of you to make your closing statements. As a governor, you are addressing yourself now to the people of Colorado, the people around the globe. You want to make this state a destination state, a state where people come and stay, a state where when we first come here in Colorado was one of a welcome state in this country. People were smiling. There was no crime. It was a beautiful state. Today, we have a problem. The state has become a destination, a state of thing I don't want to say here, but you as a candidate, as a governor, how you will make this state again, the state of hope, the state of experience, the state of welcome, the state of humanity. Yes, it's possible. What you will do for the Colorado, for this country, to make Colorado the best destination to be, the best place to live in. Mr. David, I'll start with you.
Thank you. Again, I want to say thank you very much for inviting me. This is an amazing, extraordinary, as I say, if life is a dream, dream big, because the alternative is death. And believe me, having suffered a stroke, I know it all too well. Our realities today are far too real. I heard the term used, people will often say extremist or extreme views. We're living in a world right now where I'm marching in the street, shoulder to shoulder, with a Jewish community who do not identify themselves as Zionists. They're not psychopaths. They're not hell bent on genocide. They're Jewish people who say, I stand with you. I'm not a Zionist, and someone needs to speak out for us too. The unheard community, the people who feel so desperate in our schools that they need to react in some horrible way, instead of the community looking at the culture of the community and ourselves and saying, where did we fail that child? Were we there to protect them? Or do we have kind of an elitist little back kind of situation going on in our community that needs to be addressed? Do we have students who feel supported or left out? Where are the foundations? Are people so desperate now? What they're leading us towards, I want you to know, is this: by stripping away, people become so desperate that the madness and the chaos builds, and it only gives this tyrant in chief more reasons to increase the enforcement. We're playing into their hands, okay? Antifa, stand down, love you, but stand down. Yeah, I mean, seriously, stop the madness, stop breaking things, and start building the bridges. Community, let's not destroy our community. Let's work out and hear and listen and say, how can I help you? My grandfather, you see, that not only did Jimmy Carter's son stay at their house when he was on the campaign trail, and as I say, I grew up with these values, but he sold newspapers in Manitou Springs as a child. He sold newspapers with one of those little hats in Manitou Springs. I grew up in Farmington, New Mexico, down in the Four Corners. I grew up loving coming to Colorado and Durango and wherever we could, because I knew, you see, to me, the culture of Colorado was, back in the day, it was Mork and Mindy in Aspen, and this beautiful kind of Grateful Dead somewhere, but real kind of a punk rock. We had it really, this is the most beautiful, beautiful state. And look at what we're doing in our streets. We're angry at each other. I want to reach out that hand to the Republicans, to the independents, and to every person and say, look, we need to come together and fight against this corporate interest first. Let's deal with the housing. Let's make sure that let's get rid of evictions. Okay, if we can't really crunch down on these evictions, then at least a landlord should you can't just get rid of them, I'm saying, but a landlord should be responsible for at least 1 month of storage. You know how many people I see with their belongings in the street? And vultures of the neighbors diving in downtown here, because I live in housing, you see. My stroke, they told me, they rolled me out of a hospital and said, good luck. Now go apply for SSI. And what I learn is, but you'll have to apply 3 times and you'll get denied all 3 times. And then if you just keep getting denied, don't stop trying. Well, I'm 5 years down the road. The food banks don't have enough for me to feed my daughter. The biggest personal fear I have today, how am I going to do Christmas? I have a t-shirt for her. They just took my fuel allowance. I'm on SNAP. Did they increase SNAP benefits 1 cent since COVID? They haven't increased SNAP benefits a cent. But we're worried about the rich. Okay, they're wanting to build these resorts. They want to build smart cities, Stan Kroenke. This has got to stop. this gentrification, let's just spend and rebuild, and meanwhile, guess who suffers? They do all the construction, all the towns across Colorado. You're seeing they're shutting down main streets, and the small businesses are collapsing. Why? Because your civic leaders have an idea that if they can make us more dependent on the big tech oligarch, technogarchs, that's the one we need to be looking at and saying, AIPAC, get out of our politics, take our country back from AIPAC. That's the thing, and we can work from there.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
John, your return to make a statement how you can make this state again the state of destination, the state people come to stay, the state people love to stay, the state that is affordable, the state of the justice, the state of fairness. What is your project? What can you do?
Exactly.
What
That's
can
what
you
we
do
want.
different from Jaropolis? What can you do different from the Attorney General, Phil Weiser?
Well, the problem is there's been so much corruption. The money isn't going to the people. It's not taking care of social programs. I take it Mr. Hughes is really complaining that there's been a collapse of the social net, and that it's heartbreaking and people are getting hurt. And we should stand for a social net. To have social security, to have welfare is part of the first world. And right now it's shutting down. And I'm sorry that, I mean, it's an irony because at no other time in history would I be having a debate like this, but the government shut down. I mean, it would take a semester at college to go through everything going on versus just one night for 30 minutes. It's catastrophic. And it really points to the fact that I've said this already, but the newer people have to try to work together. Unfortunately, there is a class that you keep talking about. We could call them a number of names. And those people, those corporations in power have been mismanaging. And there needs to be better management. And the chaos has to stop. And there has to be working together. I mean, and I'm really sorry about ICE. I believe that it's necessary for the moment, and that there'll come a time when it should be scaled back. I think that I'm speaking as really what I think. There's a time for it, and there'll be a time where we need a different process. And we should already be thinking about the time of different process and a proper immigration system that doesn't collapse. Because it's part of reality. Okay. And also I'm going to make an argument for European immigration. There was a time when the Spanish and the French and the Euros and the English came to this country. They don't anymore. And I'm making an argument that we should have proper quotas, that we can look on a magazine or a newspaper article and say, this is a quota for the people that are coming from around the world, like a pie chart, and that it's actually something we agree to. And we know that there's a pie chart of people from around the world, and we are in charge of a non-biased, non-discriminatory system where people are treated like human beings. But right now, what's happening is necessary, and it will be necessary to change it as well. I want to say that.
Thank you.
That's what I mean, because really, I mean, but the thing is, the lawyers make money. So when we talk about legal immigration, it's a benefit. So lawyers make more money, and we need to address that system as well, so it doesn't abuse those immigrants who are being abused. Oh my God, these people! I mean, we have families who are good people who believe in God, who believe in family, and they're being hurt. And we need to address that and come up with a policy that really addresses that for the long term. And we're being forced to do it. I want to say one thing. There's a putsch. There's an audit of everything going on now. Everything from immigration to every department in the government. I can't believe that we don't have airports running. A DIA is affected. And so the cry is from everyone. The people who are the most affected, of course, are the poor. And we need to work towards a resolution, and our government needs to change. There needs to be new people in office who have better management skills and more heart.
Fatima, your turn, your take, your statement here. So based on as a governor.
Colorado is ready. Thank you.
As a governor, if elected, how
Yep.
you gonna put back these states to be
Well,
the lovely state.
Colorado is
Yes,
ready
Dr.
for
Dewey.
something new. Dr. Bamba, thank you. Colorado is ready for something new. Not left, not right, but whole. Harmony isn't a slogan, it's a structure. The alignment of people, policy, and purpose. It's what happens when law serves life, not power. When leadership listens before it legislates. I'm not running to win titles. I'm running to restore truth, to make government worthy of people again. And here's the thing. So tonight, I invite you to enroll in a vision, one that brings faith, freedom, and fairness back into public life. Stand with me, register not just as voters, but as builders of harmony. Visit Fatima Fernandez for Colorado and join the movement where law meets love and people come first.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Fatima Fernandez. Thank you, Mr. David Hood. Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you, everyone who was watching this debate live today. The debate was recorded. It will be sent out. We'll make sure we can reach the maximum people to share this debate. This was a very interesting experience. We'll do that again because we are still far from the day of election, November 2026. I thank you, everyone, and good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Very much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Make a sign, Hughes for governor. Make your own sign. I'm not making them. Thank you so much, you guys.
Sign my
Thank you
petition.
so much.
The Harmony Party for Colorado.
Sure, but your device
Cool.
needs to be unlocked for that.
Oh my God, my AI just responded to that. Wow.
Mr. Ginsburg,
But it was positive.
have
It was a positive response.